What if the key to rebuilding stronger, more connected communities was as simple as rethinking the very structures that surround us? Can the design of our buildings and public spaces encourage people to connect with one another? Architecture is more than just shelter. It's the framework for human interaction. Buildings, public squares, and streets define how we move, gather, and connect. In recent decades, modernist architecture, often dominated by tall, imposing structures, has led to a more isolating experience for people in cities. But why does this happen? And what can we learn from traditional human-scale architecture to rebuild that lost sense of community? Modernist architecture, with its focus on efficiency, minimalism, and functionality, often lacks the warmth and human-centered design found in older, traditional buildings. Buildings are taller, spaces more vast, and the human scale, our natural sense of proportion and design, feels lost. This can create feelings of alienation and isolation among residents. One of the major problems with modernist architecture is that it ignores the psychological need for interaction. These massive structures often make people feel small and insignificant, discouraging social engagement. The architecture doesn't invite people to linger, talk, or meet. In contrast, traditional architecture focuses on human proportions and aesthetics that foster comfort and interaction. These spaces are designed to bring people together, whether it's through narrower streets, smaller buildings with inviting storefronts, or beautiful public squares that encourage people to sit and talk. These human-scale environments naturally draw people outside, offering more opportunities for casual encounters and strengthening community bonds. A study conducted by the architectural Uprising points out that traditional buildings are designed with walkability and human interaction in mind, which makes neighborhoods more sociable and safer overall. Public spaces, in particular, play a vital role in community building. Historically, town squares, marketplaces, and parks were central to life, designed with the intent of bringing people together. In these spaces, people gather, form relationships, and engage in civic life. When spaces are designed on a human scale, they invite interaction. People are more likely to stop and talk, to gather and linger. It's about designing spaces that are not just functional, but that encourage social life. This is something modernist architecture has largely ignored.
Many cities are beginning to rediscover the value of human-scale architecture. In cities like Barcelona, Paris, and even new urban developments in the United States, the principles of traditional design, walkability, intricate facades, and community-centered public spaces are being revived. In Barcelona's Gothic quarter, the narrow, winding streets are filled with small businesses and cafes, drawing both locals and tourists alike. The human-scale design creates a sense of intimacy, encouraging people to slow down, explore, and connect. The future of architecture can be both beautiful and functional. By integrating modern sustainability practices with traditional human-scale designs, we can create environments that not only meet the needs of today, but also foster deeper community ties. There is a growing realization that modern architecture must shift its focus back to human-scale design if we want to rebuild strong communities. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about designing spaces that serve human relationships. Architecture shapes the way we live, and the spaces we create determine how we connect. It's time to rethink the isolating nature of modernist design and return to the warmth, intimacy, and community-building principles of traditional architecture. Rebuilding our communities starts with reimagining the buildings around us.
If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts on how architecture should impact communities in the comments below.